嘿，妈咪。
动嘴。
哎呦！是正主。好不好？取了吗？哎呦，给取了，给取了。哎呦。开灯了。
哎呦呦！气死了！
Dear my beloved audiences, today I want to tell you a story which is called Lucky in the Letter. In a quiet village where the houses all had red roofs and picket fences, there lived a small brown mutt named Lucky. But Lucky wasn't really lucky, not yet. He had no owner, no collar, and no home. He had been abandoned as a puppy and had grown up on the streets, relying on scraps, kindness from strangers, and his quick legs to avoid trouble. The villagers knew him. Some called him a nuisance, while others occasionally tossed him leftovers. But no one truly saw him, not the way a dog wants to be seen. He wandered from garden to garden, slept under porches, and chased away his loneliness by barking at birds and squirrels. Then, one morning in early spring, something changed. As Lucky was sniffing around the town square, he noticed a young girl sitting on a bench, crying quietly into her coat sleeves. She looked to be about 10 years old, with a blue backpack and worn shoes. Clutched in her hand was a crumpled piece of paper. Lucky, drawn by the sound of her sobs, padded over and sat beside her. He didn't bark or beg. He just sat. The girl looked down and blinked. "Hi," she whispered. Lucky tilted his head. She hesitated, then smiled just a little. "You're not scared of me, huh?" Lucky licked her hand gently. The girl giggled just a little. That was how it began. The girl's name was Mia, and she had just moved to the village with her grandmother after her parents left for work overseas. She didn't know anyone in town, and she missed her old life. That letter in her hand, it was one she'd written to her parents, but didn't know how to send. There was no post box near her house, and her grandma hadn't been feeling well enough to walk far. "Maybe I'll just throw it away," she said aloud, mostly to herself. Lucky barked once and nudged the paper with his nose. "You think it's important?" Mia asked. Lucky wagged his tail. Mia looked at the letter, then at the small street dog sitting beside her. What if you delivered it? She laughed at the idea, until she saw the seriousness in Lucky's eyes. And so began the secret mission. Over the next week, Mia trained Lucky. She tied a small pouch to his back and practiced sending him between the bench and her grandmother's house with little notes. Lucky learned quickly. He was smarter than anyone had realized. He memorized the route, avoided barking dogs, and always came back for more. Finally, Mia gave him the real letter. "Take this to the post office," she whispered, tying it carefully into the pouch. "Please." She pointed down the street. "It's the yellow building with the flag." Lucky barked softly and trotted off with purpose. It took him a while. He got lost once, paused near a bakery to sniff some bread, and even had to dodge a scooter, but in the end, he made it. The postmaster, Mr. Ellis, looked up from his desk just in time to see the brown dog with a pouch staring at him. What in the world? Inside the pouch was the letter, addressed properly with stamps. Mr. Ellis smiled. "All right, little messenger. Let's get this where it needs to go." The letter arrived 2 weeks later. Mia's parents called her that evening, thrilled and tearful. "How did you send it?" they asked. "I had help," she said, petting Lucky, who lay curled up on the couch beside her. After that, Lucky was no longer the invisible stray. Word spread quickly about the little brown dog who delivered a letter, about the girl who trained him, about how he had once been unwanted and now had a job, a friend, and a name that suited him more than ever. The villagers began to treat him differently. Children gave him treats. Shopkeepers waved when he passed by. Someone even built him a little doghouse near Mia's garden, painted with the word Lucky in bright red letters. But Lucky didn't care about fame. He only cared about Mia. Every morning, he waited for her outside the door. Every afternoon, they sat on their bench together, sometimes talking, sometimes just watching the world go by. Mia no longer felt alone. And Lucky, well, for the first time in his life, he truly was. Lucky. If you like this video, please leave a like and a subscribe. It will really help our channel grow. But if you don't like it, then just skip it and don't forget to check out our other videos. Thank you very much and goodbye.